obviously this podcasting is showing me you get signals from people who want to move forward for certain reasons.
For the record, Drew, we didn't jump the fence. I knocked on the door and politely and asked, is it okay if we came in?
If it was 30 years ago, you would have jumped the fence.
Of course.
They just make fences too high now.
Yeah, my back's not up to it these days, no.
And I'm going to crack this koala. I'm a koala. Yeah, so Cal, it's a dream for me that you want to bring some musicians in to, so I get this scope of musicians from your world because you're always filling up venues full of musicians. So it's a great thing. So Tony Dempsey, the surfer, he's bringing me surfers, and then I've got a magician, mate. We were, it's going really well, and that's how it should be.
Well, people like that, especially musicians from my point of view, have great stories, as Peter McFarlane showed. You couldn't shut him up.
Yeah.
Keith Koolman, obviously, is coming along next week. He's got some great stories to tell when he gets going again. Very shy until he, maybe get a couple of drinks in him, and away he goes.
Keith Koolman, John English's guitar player.
Yeah, well,
John English had his funeral today.
It was actually on yesterday, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so Keith was flying back today. He was actually one of the Foster brothers for God knows how many years. He's written songs for Doug Parkinson as well, so he's got a history to tell you about. So.
Right.
Yeah, and of course Corey, being one of the younger brigade from a up and coming band on the Gold Coast, can see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But he's been around for a while. So he's got some stories to tell as well. European tours and so on. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So these people I find fascinating. That's why I like hanging around with them.
Yeah. You English?
Me?
Or, no, I know you're from New Zealand.
Well, it's as they call Kiwis, South Pacific Poms.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got more of an English accent. In that Kiwi accent.
I don't have a Kiwi accent as such because I've lived all over the bloody world. That's why I've got sort of.
But it's not English.
No,
I can tell you that it's not English.
No.
What would you know?
First time I've ever been called a pom in my life. I did spend some time over there though, in South Africa as well. So then I'm married to a South African. So a little bit of a little bit of a twang from everywhere. Put me in a Kiwi bar though with a few Kiwi boys around, and the accent comes straight back.
Yeah. But do you like Flight of the Conchords? Have you seen that TV show?
Yeah, I've watched them a few times. I do. It's not something I purposely go and look for. But
No.
it's
But as an Aussie to watch, have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Well, as an Aussie, you see these two New Zealanders in New York. We both not. But the accent, as they say it on the show, like, no, we're not Aussies. We speak English slightly better, you'd actually say. And then when I'm watching them going, you're right. New Zealanders would speak the Queen's English a little better than Aussies.
Oh, certainly so, because we're taught that way. In fact, again, I'm an ex-Kiwi, forgive me for that. Any Kiwi listeners?
Never will.
But my childhood was growing up, doing everything that they do in England. The climate's the same for a start. Dinner was always on the table at 5 o'clock.
Wow.
And,
is that right, Matt?
Not with my mum, no.
No?
No.
Is it always mash?
She was one of those late people, was she?
No, she's just a hopeless cook. But I think that's fallen over in the last 10 years. And
Come on.
I'm talking a long time before the last 10 years, mate.
It's no longer true, but yeah, certainly in the 70s and then through the 80s, that was definitely a thing of when you had dinner and when you had your 11s, all this nonsense was all very rigid. But these days we're just as slack as everyone else.
Yeah.
You prefer
It's a worldview now.
Yeah, well, don't you? Isn't the English food, the staple food, curry these days?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on curry. This is the when anyone says to me,
I'm not going to tell you again.
What
Talk on that mic. I've got crap gear. You have to get in there. Even closer. Come on, mate.
When anyone says, "What do you miss about living?" What do you miss about London if you live in Australia? The first thing I always say is curry.
Funny.
Proper curry.
Yeah, it's always proper curry coming from an Englishman.
Proper Pakistani curry.
Quite often, if you go into an Indian restaurant and my girlfriend's Scottish, so the pair of us are always going hot curry, and we'll go into an Indian restaurant and they'll lean over and we'll say hot, and they'll say, do you mean Aussie hot or Asian hot? Oh, Asian hot, and they double up the spices for the poms, and even then it's still not quite like Brick Lane in London.
Yep, the old beef vindaloo, staple food. Yeah.
Oh, and curries that you actually can't eat, but you have to try as a student.
Yeah.
I spent time living in India actually, and I'm not a fan of rice for a start. And I enjoy hot food. Don't get me wrong, spicy food, but not arse burning food. And I was down in Bangalore, which is considered southern India, and the further south you go, the more chilies they put in the food. And oh boy, I tell you what, after 3.5 months of eating that stuff, I just couldn't wait to come home and just have a burger or give me a steak for God's sakes, with maybe some pepper sauce, but that was about all I wanted.
Do they eat curry for breakfast? That's what someone told me. What's with that?
I have no idea. I'm sure if you buy a bag of rice, they just throw curries in it. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's to disguise the fact that the meat's actually off. Yeah. And I say that in the nicest possible way.
Right, okay.
We're talking about India here.
Yeah, right.
We're
saving food.
Well, if you go through the villages and the local butchers got dogs hanging, skinned dogs just hanging there in the 40-degree heat with flies all over them. Wow. And that's what they serve in restaurants. So I'm pretty sure that's why they use curry, to actually either kill the germs or disguise them, one of the two.
What I can't, my wife loves rice, and like all her friends, I always say, like, okay, her friends, like parents, whatever, what's the one, if you were stuck on an island, what's that one food you'd take? And they all answer rice, gohan, they say.
Oh, wow.
Like, rice! To an Aussie, it's like not even in the list of foods, would you agree?
No,
we would say bread. Bread is our, we would all run to bread, would you say?
Well, if you want starch, give me potatoes any day over rice. Okay. Yeah.
You got to have butter with that, yeah.
Oh, not necessarily. I can eat just a cooked potato.
Yeah, me too.
Jacket. Yeah.
I get angry with that no butter though.
Yeah, well, butter's better.
If you're on an island.
Everything's better with butter, as they say.
Yeah.
Unless you stutter.
But yeah, could you imagine that? To me, rice is the thing that you put curry near.
Next
or,
to.
It's not even a important food.
I couldn't agree more.
It's the break that you have between the really hot stuff.
Yeah, it's like, why do they put so much rice on there? I want more sauce. Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Boy, we could just...
We're not stalling.
This is flowing really well, isn't it?
Oranges. Anyway. Hey, I don't care.
You're not going to put this to air, are you?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay.
It's another day in our lives.
Fair enough then.
It's another historical moment.
A bit more disorganisation.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a bit of a theme.
Yeah, and we're teaching Mattg how to use a mic.
I'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
Tell us what you've been photographing lately.
Oh, what have I done this week? I've done lots and lots of, I was going to say dull, I can't say dull. Really exciting commercial work. It was shooting models on Saturday. I was actually doing a workshop. I had some people into my studio and was shooting a brilliant model called Tara. And we did all kinds of different styles. We just did some kind of straight portrait photography to start with. This is where you put the lights. This is what you do with your model. And then we did some high key stuff. We get like a really bright white background, and you almost blast the skin out so you can't see any blemishes or anything. And then, my photography assistant, he always laughs at me because I try and do high key for a bit, and then within about 10 minutes I get bored. And then, so I immediately turn that one off, and I turn that light off, and I turn that light off. And there's only one light now, and it's shining from the side. And we ended up doing a shot that was almost in the dark, that someone referred to as the hooker smurf.
Please explain.
Because the model Tara has got this like cheeky little grin, and we put some, and it was almost in the dark, except we'd put a big red light behind her, and then Trevor, for some reason, thought that a blue light in front of her would be brilliant as well. So we've got this grinning model with a blue face down one side and all red behind her. And someone said, "Oh, it's like a Smurf in the red light district. Oh, it's the hooker Smurf." And so we took photos of the hooker Smurf for a while.
Wow.
And then
I want to Google hooker Smurf. Let's see what we come up with.
I'm put it online. Yeah, I will. I'll link hooker Smurf to it as a keyword.
Yeah. You're onto something there, I think.
Yeah, it's another one of the few niche markets that hasn't been tapped yet. Actually, I think Smurf has, hasn't it? But then we got darker and darker, and we made it. She ended up looking like a widow. But the reason she was a widow is because she'd killed him. We got darker, and we put black around her, and again it went low key, like my photography workshops almost always do, because that's what I like doing.
Low key is in dark.
So low key,
I know your style.
Low
your
key is
website.
dark and shadowy and not much colour, and quite kind of aggressive in its shot.
You know what? I saw there's a girl on my Facebook I've known only on Facebook for a long time, and she just did these sort of she has like a bit of a for want of a better word, like a strippery kind of look. You know, like that's her tattoos and all that sort of stuff. She just has this sort of way. Whoever took these photos on the weekend, they're like she's standing in an old disused gas station. So that's the kind of look they were going for. They didn't move the can of Coke that was in the background.
No.
And, you know what I mean? And it was a photographer. She was actually doing a shot. But you know when you would know times 20, when you know, what is in the shot? Yeah, it was obvious there was a can of Coke sitting there like a crunched up beside a bin that could have moved like a...
Yeah.
It was just really, really... I wanted to send her a message and say, here we go, Hooker Smurf. Look at these photos.
It actually exists.
Yeah, look.
Well, I'll be back.
Oh, look at I got a $3 case. Not that there was nothing wrong with my other case. This is a 3-year-old phone, right? And the day I got this just case, because I was just skipping around on eBay, I dropped it on its face and broke up my thing. There's a Hooker Smurf.
Oh, it's not my Hooker Smurf.
No.
That's nothing what I imagined after your description. Yeah.
All right.
So,
this is all good. I don't care if it's boring. It's got it doesn't matter. It's just another day in our lives.
So you're telling me before, Matt, that you do band shots as well?
Yeah, as you were saying, but the kind of the Gold Coast live scene just is. Yeah.
Don't start me on that again. Last time I was here, I carried on for that way too long, I think.
You can have a brief rant if you like, or I'll join you. Because I came up from Sydney 2.5-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I used to do a lot of stuff down the Annandale. You could usually find me on a Friday or Saturday night shooting in the Annandale, getting blasted by sitting on the bar. And it was a great place to shoot. And then came up here and I've really struggled to find live venues. Not so much that I found the live venues, as much as live venues that I'm interested in shooting in. Because I want it to look good, and I want a good position, and not to mention the bands that I want to see.
And big lights, like not that the Annandale had a lot of lighting, but a really good venue has a lighting rig and a good solid, and maybe a timber floor that reflects a bit.
The Annandale had really intermittent lighting, actually, depending on who was playing, because they tended to let them set it up. Right. And so sometimes you'd go there and it was absolutely fantastic. Other times you'd go there and it was dreadful. Yeah. And sometimes they'd blast the whole thing with bright red light. So all my photographs had to be in black and white afterwards. Right. And I don't mind the old black and white one, but yeah. And because what you really want is if you're photographing a band is you want it to be dark and you want to have one big light behind them, so you can do that classic shot of them coming into the light.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the shot that you're looking for usually. It's a bit cliche, but it's the one that everyone wants to see, and it's a good one. Whereas up here, the pub scene doesn't really cut it.
Well, normally, if you've got to be very careful, I imagine, as a photographer taking band shots here, because you get nothing but poker machines in the background and TV screens and
the TV screens. Oh, the TV screens. Yeah, so hard to get an angle other than pointing straight at the stage, but then you're in the audience, and that's not where as a photographer you want to shoot from. You usually want to be in the traps on the side, and because they're not going to let you kind of like into the mosh pit right at the front on your own. So you're normally at the side in the traps, shooting up, and what's behind it? A game of football, and
or
the Keno,
or the races or whatever.
Yeah, and it makes the shot unworkable. So a lot of bands up here, I try and convince them to do studio shoots, or posed location shoots rather than rather than live shoots, because the live shoots are great for Facebook or whatever, but they're absolutely rubbish as far as kind of getting into the press or actually actually working with the shots. Hopeless.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's why I asked actually if you do them, because obviously it's good to know a good photographer that can actually do the job. So I'll have to have a chat to you about that later.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. You know what's cool is if you, ever at any gig. Like everyone wants, everyone's